The Leap Foundation proudly presents the Meet the Mentor podcast with Dr. Bill Dorfman. Dr. Bill is a TV host, New York Times best-selling author, two-time Guinness World Book record holder, fitness guru, celebrity cosmetic dentist, and philanthropist who founded the Leap Foundation. Here's Dr. Bill.
Hey, Dr. Bill here. Getting better every day. I will have to have knee surgery, but the odd thing is I can ski better than I can walk. So when you're watching my Instagram and you're saying, how come he's out there skiing knowing his knee's falling apart? I don't know, go figure, but I could literally ski. This is how crazy it is. I get to the Salt Lake City airport, which is the worst designed airport in the world. You have to walk 2 miles from your airplane and I have to get in a wheelchair because I can't walk that. But then if it were a mountain, I could just ski to the luggage area, we'd be fine. So there you go. But yeah, I'll have knee surgery. And this year at Leap, I won't be in a wheelchair. I'll be standing up on stage. When is Leap? Leap is July 17th to the 23rd. And it looks like COVID is slowly dissipating and we will be able to have a full audience at Leap. So if you are a parent watching this podcast and you have students that are 15 to 25 and you don't send them to Leap, you are a bad parent. So please send your kids to Leap. And there's no excuses now because our program is going to forever be live and virtual. So if you cannot get your little ones on the plane and in LA, please at least give them the opportunity to listen virtually. We're going to have some amazing speakers this year. Richard Branson, I'm sure, Usher, Paula Abdul, and a whole plethora of other patients and friends of mine and speakers. And I mean, it's just going to be amazing. So you need to send your kid. And if you want more information, go to www.leapfoundation.com, or you can call our phone number on the bottom here at 877-855-5327. But please check us out, go online and see the kind of programs that we've had. The other thing that I'm super excited to say is this podcast, Meet the Mentor, has exploded. We are in the top 2.5% of all podcasts in the world, which is crazy. I mean, some months we rank like #1 in like Yemen or Iceland or Finland or something like that. So please, share this with your friends. If you like what you hear, give us a 5-star thumbs up on there too, because that helps promote us. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to our mentor for this month. I have Brittany Anderson. Brittany Anderson is the president and shareholder of a top-ranked financial services firm, Sweet Financial Partners. Having more than a decade's worth of experience in her field, she has taken her business building and team engaging insights and has worked with CEOs, entrepreneurs, business owners, and authors worldwide. Brittany is also the co-author of the Ultimate Advisor Coaching and Ultimate Advisor Mastermind platforms. We love Masterminds. We teach it at Leap. Her insights have been featured in national media outlets such as Huffington Post, Women, Inc., and Forbes magazines. She has shared her expertise throughout her contribution to 3 published books and will continue with her love for writing as she's set to publish 2 additional books in 2022. As an influential speaker and author, Brittany Anderson has spoken at the $1 Million Roundtable, and now she's going to speak on Meet the Mentor with Dr. Bill. Brittany, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Those intros, they're just so wordy.
They are. Well, tell us what you do.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, I am the current president and one of the shareholders at Sweet Financial Partners. Basically, my whole role here is really pushing forward the vision of the company, bringing the team together, helping everybody get behind what is our biggest mission, our biggest cause. And it's really helping people align their dreams with their finances, helping people pursue possibility and really going after all that they want in life. So, when I say it like that, it sounds kind of like I'm having fun every day.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Give me a real life example. like something that you did that you're real proud of, and the challenge that you were faced and how you guys solved that and where you brought that company to?
Yeah. So, I think back, that's such a great question. I think back to, I first started with Sweet Financial in client services, actually, was hired in fresh out of college. If you would have asked me in college if I had any intention of being in the financial services field, I would have said absolutely not. I disliked my finance classes. That wasn't my thing. But what I loved was leadership. And I loved just business in general and what it looks like to grow that. So, I think about challenges over the years. Anytime you hit what you would call a ceiling of complexity in the business, a time where you think, oh my gosh, I think we've grown to the point that we are capable of. I think that we've, maximized all of our resources, but really being able to pull people together and overcome that and hit that next level of growth. Those are the times that you really hit those big moments of impact. So I will tell you, when we started shifting away from just basic investment management and helping people really build their wealth plans into this whole dream architect movement, that was something that it was really hard. It was tough to initially get the team to understand kind of this fluffy in the clouds idea. But once it became tangible and we started seeing the difference it was making in people's lives, that's when it became real and that's when it became fun.
So Brittany, let's kind of dumb it down. Our students are 15 to 25.
Yeah.
So if you were talking to a 15-year-old and you had to explain to them what you do, or, mommy, your kids are 8 years old, how would you explain it to them, what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah. I think I would say it as simply as I help people decide what is really meaningful to them. What matters? You're told your whole life, and you think about this as a kid, you're told your whole life, okay, as you grow up, you need to get a job and you need to make sure you save your money and you need to make sure you're responsible and you need to make sure that, you keep your head on straight. Well, what is all that for? Like, what are you really doing that for? And I think that's where the gap is that, if you're listening to this and you're 15 years old, setting an intention for your life and understanding what you want your life to look like down the road, that's what's going to help you make those good decisions.
But what exactly is a financial services firm? I mean, are you helping people invest? Are you helping them buy houses? Are you telling them, tell me like bare bones, like what you guys really do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, on a day-to-day basis. So we have financial advisors in the office who basically meet with people, typically people who've actually retired, who have saved money and accumulated money over the years. We teach them and show them where they need to invest. And we make sure that it's matched and aligned with whatever their goals are for the future. So to put it as simple as possible, we have different investment vehicles that we use. So the stock market, the bond market, different things like that we help people make decisions as to where to put their money. We help make sure that they pay as little taxes as possible, which at 15 years old, that's the last thing you're thinking about, but really helping them to make sure that they keep as much of their money as possible, all while helping them, use that money to do things they enjoy.
That's awesome. So I'm a big believer in masterminds. I really attribute a lot of my success to being in some very high-powered masterminds group. I've been meeting with a group of 10 phenomenal dentists for the last 25 years. I'm in a YPO mastermind group. And one other mastermind group through my metal friends. You wrote a book on mastermind. So do you guys actually take your clients and put them in mastermind groups, or it's more like your company is a mastermind that helps put all of its energies into a client? How does that work?
Yeah. So there's a couple different folds here that have happened. So completely agree with you. Number one, I would say being part of masterminds, and essentially, if you really want to put it as simply as it is, it's just putting yourself in a room with really smart, really bright, really energized people. So for us, what we're trying to do with our clients is, yes, we want to cultivate and put people in a room together, whether it's virtual or in person in today's COVID crazy place, but put people in a room together, in a space together where they can share ideas, where they can talk about some of their biggest dreams that they might be afraid to talk about in front of their friends, their family members, for fear of being kind of shut down or told that, that's not realistic. That's not something that you're capable of. So we're actually shifting and creating a whole platform to help support this within our business. But as a side, we've also created one for other financial advisors from across the nation to be able to come together and share their best ideas, to not be in a space of competition, but rather collaboration. So we've actually helped support other financial advisors outside of our practice by creating a mastermind there.
Cool. So yeah, let's go back. Give me one of your best success stories. A client that came to you that was really kind of destitute and aimless and where you really felt like you guys connected and kind of hit it out of the park. Obviously, don't share their name, but just
right. Yeah. So actually, I had a face pop in my mind right away when you said that. We had a couple that we'd been working with for a long time. They had recently sold their business. And we're kind of at a point where, they had money to invest with us, but maybe not a ton of other direction as far as what they maybe wanted to retire to, as much as they knew what they were retiring from or stepping away from. So we actually took them through a process where we had them spell out in a full day's workshop. These are the things that are really meaningful to my future. And
give examples,
yeah, like travel. So we talked about what are things that you have waited your whole entire life that you've said, when I have more time, this is what I want to do. So it was things like they wanted to travel to a few different places, specific places out of the country. They wanted to create a foundation. They wanted to do some more things for their grandkids that they had not taken the time to do as far as financial structural support, things of that nature. They wanted to spend more quality time together. When you're running a business, your head tends to go in the business realm a little bit more than maybe what you would do as a couple. So those were all things that they talked about, that we brainstormed with them. I mean, there was tears. I remember that meeting clear as day. There was tears in that meeting of joy, of, some sadness and things lost. And the biggest impact out of that was that they ended up taking those trips. They took a dream board that we created. So if you think about this, if there's been times you've had to create a vision board for yourself in school or as a project or just for yourself as a human being, that's what we did for them. They traveled with it. That is how meaningful it was. And we would get pictures of different places that they went to with this dream board. And this is why it's actually the most meaningful and why they popped in my head initially is the wife ended up over the years getting really, really sick and had a really bad brain infection and ended up, she wasn't doing really well and she's still living. So that's the happy ending of the story. But the catch of this all is if they wouldn't have been intentional and wouldn't have sat down and taken the time to identify what they wanted to do, none of that would have happened. And that sickness would have happened before it was possible. So that's why they stick out in particular.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, I know from our mutual friend, Justin, that you are like a superstar in your profession. What is it you think that really sets you apart from other people that do the similar kind of work?
I'm not afraid to try new things and I'm not afraid to fail. And I honestly think that is one thing that holds us back. And even my younger self, I can tell you honestly, that wasn't me always. But I just got to a point where I just started trying things. So I remember the first time I spoke on a big stage, I had an opportunity through a mutual friend connection. And I thought, oh my gosh, who the heck am I to be up there? And I just went in and I did it and I gave it my all and I showed up and I was prepared. And it's those little things and momentum that I've just never been afraid of failure because my whole goal, I'm not trying to be better than anybody else. I'm just trying to be better than who I was yesterday. So I think that is one thing that helps set me aside.
I like that. That's powerful. I think that so many people in life are so afraid of failure that they just don't try anything. One of the things I tell kids at Leap is I never fail. ever. Why? Because if I do something and it doesn't come out the way I want it to, I call that practice, not failure.
Amen.
And I'll do it again and again and again and again and again until I eventually get it right. So you really only fail when you quit. And I don't quit. So, and the other thing you have to kind of shift your thinking is, we always hear the phrase, practice makes what?
Perfect.
Right? Wrong. Practice makes permanent. If you keep doing it the wrong way over and over and over again, you'll never succeed. That's why I love LEAP so much, because we get to introduce kids to mentors who can help them streamline the process and learn how to do things better and faster and more efficiently. I always say a mentor is the fastest way to success. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Find somebody who's already doing that and just copy what they're doing. And then, like you said, try to be a better you each day. I love that. I'm going to steal that and use it. I love that.
Yeah, you should. And, you just made me think of something too. It's, when you think about getting advice, you're getting advice from somebody. Never get advice from anybody that you wouldn't want to switch places with, right? That hasn't already achieved what you want. So I think that mentorship and what you're doing at LEAP is just phenomenal.
Yeah. And what you're doing has to be really gratifying, because you're basically helping people set a secure and fruitful future where they really don't have the direction. I think that's amazing. So how did you originally get into this? I know you said you started off as an assistant, but what attracted you to this field?
So I think back, actually, I was 8 years old, and my mom was a single mom and hardworking, raising 2 kids, busting her tail. And I remember looking in on her this one day, and she was crying over her checkbook. And I knew, even at that young age, that she wasn't certain how she was going to pay all the bills. Was she going to be able to pay the mortgage, plus the food, plus the utilities, plus everything else with our activities and extracurriculars and whatever else? And it was that moment for me that I thought, my gosh, I personally don't ever want to be in a position where somebody else's choices or a circumstance affects what I can and cannot do in my life. And I think over the years, I joke about not loving my finance classes in college, and it's true, but I think that the calling for me is that I saw an opportunity to help people make informed, great decisions and to be part of an organization that truly cares about people and truly cares about people pursuing what they want, not letting their circumstance hold them back or what they came from hinder what they want for their future. So that's truly where I think it came from.
I love that. All right. So I told you I was going to ask you this in AMP. If I am a student watching this and I am so inspired by Brittany Anderson that I want to do your career, tell me what I should and shouldn't do educationally or extracurricularly to ensure my success.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things is get your hands into the actual field. So I think back, and if I could do it over again, I wish I would have interned. And I know that your professors tell you this, like, make sure you get an intern or your field director or whatever, but actually having experience in a company, if it's something that you want to do with me or like me or somebody else, get actual experience, because it's so different than what your professors teach you. The other thing to go hand in hand with that is, if you want to get into the business world, read your little hearts out. There are so many great books out there by brilliant people who have actually, again, been in the field and done it. So when you hear about books like Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, another one that I think is great that I think young people should read is Danny Meyer's Setting the Table. It's about client experience. It's about, making people feel good and making great experiences out of maybe just the mundane day-to-day thing. I think that's a mindset shaping that is really great for your future. So you've got reading, you've got interning, and the mentor. I cannot tell you how important it is to have somebody to go to who has been in that field, who's actually learned along the way, and who could help you make better decisions. I could say, honestly, I can attribute one person in particular, the founder of Sweet Financial. I was very honest early on about what I loved about the job and what I didn't love. And I think that as a student, as a young person coming into the workforce, don't be afraid to say that you don't love everything about what you're doing, because you never know what door that might open for your future and for your career.
Where exactly are you guys physically located?
Southern Minnesota.
Southern Minnesota. I was going to guess Minnesota. I hear it in your little Minnesota accent.
Oh, I keep hearing that. I thought I had it masked. I have a little bit of a cold too, so that's what I'm blaming.
And if students wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, you can email me. I respond to every email. So it's Brittany@sweetfinancial.com. You can also check out BrittanyAnderson.com, and there are ways to contact me through there as well.
And you have 2 new books coming out, right?
Yes, we have one releasing in, should be the end of May, called Dream Architecture. And then another one later this year that is geared towards the working female professional who has kids at home and wants to achieve that perfect imbalance. Because let me tell you, that work-life balance thing, it doesn't exist. You have to find your happy imbalance.
Yeah, I love that. Well, Brittany, I can't thank you enough, and I hope to see you at LEAP this summer.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right, Dr. Bill, over and out.
To learn more about the LEAP Foundation, go to leapfoundation.com or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/LEAP Foundation or on Instagram at LEAP Foundation. Listen to the Meet the Mentor podcast with Dr. Bill Dorfman on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.